Welcome back into Steelers Latest, your daily spot for all news and information related to your Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's step right back into things here as shockingly, it's not seeming like there's a lot of interest for TJ Watt. And what I mean by that is it's not seeming like a TJ Watt trade would get us what we really want in Pittsburgh. I saw today that Mark Taboli, an NFL insider, said he doesn't think a trade for TJ Watt would really net the Steelers what us fans would really think or hope for, or even what the Steelers front office would hope for in a TJ Watt trade. It doesn't seem like what based off what he said we would get a first rounder for TJ Watt. He said he doesn't think if you're expecting to get a 1, 2, and 3 next year, that would happen. So like we're not gonna get a haul. Why is the trade even an option right now? It's because Miles Garrett's deal with Cleveland. Cleveland is screwing us a little bit here after throwing all their money at Miles Garrett, $40 million a year for him. Once again, I don't think we're gonna get near that $40 million a year number if we try to re-sign TJ Watt. I think you have to do like 3 years, at least $33 million a year. That's within 7 of Miles. I still don't know if that gets the job done because I do think TJ, I view him as the best rush end in the league. I think TJ views himself as the best defensive player in the league. Hard to argue, honestly. He's clearly one of the most valuable defensive players in the league, as every time he's not on the field for the Steelers defense regresses to commoner status, to not being able to play defense at all. Like that's just how it's been over the past 8 years with TJ Watt. When he isn't playing, the defense is hot ass. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Steelers defense without Watt hasn't been much of anything special. I think we need to get the re-signing done. Can the Steelers do it? Does Watt agree to taking less money than Miles Garrett, which I would hope he does, but once again, these are very, very proud people. Very proud people. I was thinking of a way to word it correctly, but he is a very proud player. Most players are very proud of themselves. And TJ, he really does deserve all the money in the world, but is it reasonable to throw 40 million at a 31-year-old? I don't really think so. I think it's reasonable to maybe throw 33 million at him for the next 3 years. An extension to this 1 year we have left with him. But we will have to wait and see how that all turns out. Let's move to the other side of the ball with Aaron Rodgers, as Adam Schefter has revealed a timeline of what he thinks could be Aaron Rodgers' sign date. The previous timeline was before draft. With Schefter's timeline, it is relatively the same. He thinks within a week we could hear from Aaron Rodgers on if he's signing with Pittsburgh or not. That would be huge. He says this because of off-season workouts starting soon next week with the Steelers. Off-season workouts do start. He thinks that's the reason why Aaron Rodgers could make a decision. If he wants to be somewhere new, he thinks he wants boots on the ground day one. Us Steelers fans, that would be huge if we see that commitment from Rodgers. Us Steelers fans can hop on board a little bit more with Aaron and be like, oh, this could be our guy who leads us next season to a playoff win, who wants to be here, who wants to be productive for the Steelers and not just coast to end his career. I would love to see Rodgers sign within the next week. Do I think it's going to happen? Honestly, no, I think he's gonna see what we do in the draft, see what quarterback we take, what round quarterback we take. If we take a later round guy, I think it's a guarantee Rodgers is gonna sign. If we take Sanders in round one, that's where it gets iffy. Does Rodgers think want to compete for his job next season? I don't think so. I think he wants a guaranteed starter role. And with Sanders being there, it's more up in the air on who's going to start day one. So It's all up in the air still with Aaron Rodgers, but I do think if he signs before off-season workouts, that is a good sign for us Steelers fans on Rodgers being actually motivated to play for us. Ryan Clark did say today, though, that he thinks the Steelers have kind of botched this situation and that it's pretty ugly. And he hates how Rodgers has been treating his former team. I understand it. I understand it, Ryan. We're all Steelers fans. You're a former Steelers player. You got more ties, but the fanhood feels you completely when it comes to Rodgers making us wait. It feels pretty disrespectful for such a historic franchise like Pittsburgh. But that's the Rodgers way, and we gotta live it right now, I guess. Uh, but Steelers re-signed an offensive lineman too. Matt Sharping re-signed. We signed him last year off the Commanders' practice squad in October. He played 2 games for a total of 7 snaps. I know, massive signing right here. No, it's just another small signing we've seen as of late. We've seen a couple small signings over the past couple weeks. Um, I mean, he's a vet that adds just more depth to the offensive line. He was drafted in 2019. He's played for Houston, Cincinnati, the Eagles, and the Commanders. So he's a veteran presence to just add depth to that locker room and to the offensive line room. So I always like offensive line signings. You never know when someone's going to get hurt. That could be someone that fills in. Matt Sharping hopefully does well for the Steelers next year if we do see him on the field. But let's talk about Coach T now because Coach T has been making headlines here lately not for reasons you might think. Actually, could be for reasons you think, because he remains the reason people want to be Steelers. This is why we love Coach Tomlin, because Coach Tomlin is just the aura king, it feels like, when it comes to NFL coaches. Shadur Sanders and Jalen Milrow both lofted praise onto Coach Tomlin after their visits in this last week. Sanders said, "You understand the mindset and why they win a lot." He said the meeting with the Steelers was a 10 out of 10, and that, he compared Coach Tomlin to his father a lot. I see that comparison for sure, both of them players, coaches, both of them motivational guys. I really it's given me high hopes that Sanders could be a Pittsburgh Steeler entering next season, and he wants to be a Steeler, it sounds like. When you say there's a 10 out of 10 meeting with a team that could possibly draft you, whoo-wee, we love to hear that because we know teams like Cleveland and New York, you don't wanna be there, Shedeur. You wanna be on an established franchise like the Steelers, some team that just needs a little bit extra to get over that playoff hump and get us a win in the playoffs finally. But also Jalen Milrow. He said Coach Tomlin, their meeting was very chill, very laid back. He compared many different coaches. He said all coaches have their different archetype. You got the stern coaches, you got the loose coaches, you got the player coaches. And he said Tomlin was probably one of the most chill guys, most chill coaches he's met. And that Coach T and him had a great conversation, very laid back conversation. They talked ball still, but he said it kind of was free flowing and it was very easy to talk to Coach Tomlin. This is what you love to hear out of 2 potential next guys up for us. These are 2 guys we have had seen rumors flying around us over the past couple weeks. They could get drafted to the Steelers in this upcoming week happening when the draft does happen. So that gives me very high hopes for these future quarterbacks of the Steelers if we do land either of these 2 guys. And this just lines up perfectly with what everyone said about Coach Tomlin. I mean, there's been a lot of former and current players that said if they could play for one guy that they haven't played for, it'd be Coach T because of how just his leadership abilities and just the aura around Coach Tomlin. I mean, you see that guy on the sideline every week. That's someone you wanna play for. You hear his quotes every week. That's someone you wanna play for. He is just a motivator of men, and he's been that way ever since he's been in the Bird. So, that's why Coach Tomlin has to be here as long as possible, and that is why he is the reason everyone wants to be a Steeler right now. Because not everyone wants to be a Steeler right now, but I'm just saying the people that come here usually come here because of Coach Tomlin. Even Rodgers and Tomlin have had a great relationship in the past. When Rodgers was on former teams, he always said that Coach Tomlin was seemed like a really fun coach to play for. So that's probably why we're gonna land Rodgers this offseason because of Coach T. That's why these quarterbacks of the future wanna be a Steeler because of Coach T. He is just the man in Pittsburgh. He continues to be the man. The one stable piece over the last 19 years or 18 years has been Coach T, and hopefully it remains that way for a long time. But thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Steelers Latest. I've been your host, Cole Dennis, and I will see you tomorrow.